following program is intended for mature audiences.
Everybody sings the blues sometimes. Everybody knows the tune. Everybody knows the way I'm feeling. 'Cause everybody's had the blues. The great Merle Haggard left us this past Wednesday. And boy, what a bummer that was. I hated to hear that. I'm a big Merle Haggard fan, as most of y'all know out there. Been listening to him for a very long time. He's a big part of who I am, musically and just personally in my life. Related to so much of his music. And it's a sad loss. I really hadn't been this sad since old Waylon passed away, because Merle was right up there on my Mount Rushmore of country music singers. There'll never be another Merle Haggard. I truly believe that he was one of maybe the best singer and songwriter that's ever picked up a guitar and sung a tune, you know. And you can listen to any era of Merle Haggard's music, whether it was the early tunes back when he was all clean cut, the 70s and 80s when he was a little bit more rough and woolly looking, the 90s up into the 2000s when he was getting up in the years and just still singing them damn good country songs. You know, he never... Thing about Merle, he never veered into being poppy. He never veered into doing anything that wasn't Merle Haggard. And Merle Haggard was country music. And he left behind a catalog of music that you can sit down to and listen to at any time. I mean, if you're down and you want to listen to some sad music, Merle's got it for you. If you want to listen to some beer drinking music, Merle's got it for you. And I think the thing that made him connect more so than anything else was his honesty in his music, his honesty in his songwriting. I mean, he said what he felt, you know. It wasn't no bullshit. He wasn't trying to sell you anything. He was just being Merle Haggard and putting his thoughts out there with a well thought out melody behind him. Merle wasn't a 3-chord country singer either. He was a very melodic country singer with used songwriting techniques that are all but gone now. I mean, he really, you could break it down, do some basic stuff on some Merle. He also got fairly fancy at times. He seemed like a really good dude, too. Of course, I never met him personally, but after you listen to somebody, you know, your whole life, you feel like you get to know him. I really enjoyed the early 60s stuff that he did back when he was just breaking out from the Bakersfield sound and doing the swinging doors and Okie from Muskogee and all that stuff. That was good stuff. And then I really enjoyed the Epic recordings that he had when he went over there to Epic and recorded I Wish a Buck Was Still Silver. It was back when the country was strong. he had such a good voice too. He was smooth as butter, and he could hit them low notes and just make you feel it, man. Old Merle had the gift to make people feel his music, and I think that's something that is very rare, and he had it 100% of the time. I also enjoyed his recordings in the 90s were very underrated. That 1994 album, and especially my favorite was the 96 album. I think I've talked to y'all about it on the podcast before. The 1996, Merle Haggard. That's the name of the album, 1996. You need to get that. It's a must-have for any Haggard fan. He put out so many great records that it's really hard to name a favorite record. I think probably if I had to name my favorite song that he ever wrote, which is not easy to do, it would probably be Ramblin' Fever. I just, man, that song comes on and I can be feeling like a pile of junk, and the next minute I'm in a good mood, man. When them Telecasters kick in there, you can't beat it. I've been playing the song myself for 15 years plus probably, and it's always fun to play. It's just one of them tunes, and what the hell was that? Y'all hear that? I got something going down in here. I don't know what, I think I'll just stay here and drink's another good one. Swinging Doors. I love The Branded Man. Lonesome Fugitive. Both of those songs, for the longest time, I would only play the Lonesome Fugitive because I'd get confused sometimes with them two songs. They're very similar in subject matter, and I guess the way my brain works, I would get them confused, but they're both phenomenal tunes. Everybody's Had the Blues I opened up here with. I love that song. One of his best cheating songs, which old Merle's fairly famous for the cheating songs, he had was It's Not Love, but It's Not Bad. And I really think that that's probably the best cheating song that's ever been written. And that's saying something. It perfectly describes the way that a person that does that kind of thing. That's the frame of mind they're in. I really like it. I really like that song a lot. I feel like that was another good one. I loved old Rainbow Stew. Shoot. Today I Started Loving You Again is one of the best country songs on the planet. Working Man Blues, one of the best guitar songs on the planet. A lot of people don't know that that's James Burton picking on the original studio recording of that. James Burton of Elvis Presley fame. So, hell of a lead guitar player. And you don't hardly ever go see a country band and them not play the Working Man Blues. So that's a good tune that'll stand the test of time. Hell, it already has. I've probably recorded, I bet it's been 50 years since a Working Man Blues been recorded, probably the mid-60s. And you still hear it all the time. It's a wonderful, wonderful song. Merle Haggard had a lot of sons. He was married several times, and it seemed like he was happiest with his last wife, and his son Ben Haggard was playing lead guitar in Merle's band, and a young guy. He's only in his early 20s. He's phenomenal. If you ever get a chance, check out Ben Haggard. Check him out on social media and send him your love over the loss of his dad. I know that's got to be a terrible thing. But his sons, Marty Haggard and Noel Haggard, if you've never got the chance to listen to them or check them out, are two damn good country singers. Marty had a song, it's called I Wonder Why Trains Make Me Lonesome. Now, George Strait went and recorded that on the Chill of an Early Fall album, but Marty had recorded it first in the late 80s. And it is one of the best country songs out there you probably haven't heard of. George never released it as a single. It's just an album cut. But it starts out, I was 5 years old when Daddy started packing, and I stood there by my mama as she cried. And the next thing that we knew, some old train came passing through, and Daddy got on board, and we ain't seen him no more. I wonder why trains make me lonesome. Damn good song. I'm surprised old Merle never recorded that one. Hell, he might have. He's done a lot of recording. And he recorded with the producer Buddy Cannon a couple years ago on the, well, actually it's last year I think it was released, on the Django and Jimmy, or Jimmy and Django, that he did with Willie Nelson. And apparently they went ahead and recorded another Merle Haggard solo album that will be released at a later date. So, as Haggard fans, we will get to hear some more from the Hag, and ain't no telling how much he's got this recorded that will be much. Hopefully Ben will handle Merle's legacy a lot like Johnny Cash's son has. You know, there's still a lot of Johnny Cash material that comes out periodically, thanks to Johnny's son that he had with June. So that's a good deal. You know, Shooter does a great job with Waylon's legacy and putting out some, you know, material that hasn't ever been released. Swig of sweet tea here for you. But it's a sad situation. Yeah, and I know, you know, Merle, 79, he lived a long time, had a damn good life. I don't think that he would have ever wanted to be here when he couldn't do what he loved, and he got to where he couldn't do what he loved. So he left us. That is exactly that's the skinny of what happened with Merle Haggard. He was getting to where he was having to cancel a lot of shows, still wanting to tour as much as possible, and finally, you know, sometimes the spirit is not as strong as the body, you know, when you get to be 79 years old. So old Merle, he shut her down one last time and kicked the footlights out one last time. So we appreciate you, Merle. I know you probably ain't out there caring much about this old feller sitting down here in the chair on the podcast, but very, very grateful to Merle Haggard and all that he did for country music, all that he did for me, because a big part of me learning how to sing and play guitar, which has meant a great deal to me in my life. It's one of the most special things I've ever discovered on this earth, and it doesn't matter if I'm, you know, when you first get into entertaining and being a singer and a songwriter, you want to be what Merle was. You want to be on top. You want to be out there in front of everybody to see. But as I've gotten older, it doesn't matter so much if I'm playing to my dogs in here, or 5 or 10 people in the backyard, or 200 to 2,000 people. It's the love of the music that I've always clung to, and I got that from listening to Merle Haggard, watching Merle Haggard love to do what he did, and that was perform. I had the opportunity in 2011 to go see Merle with a good friend of mine's dad up in Huntsville. And Jamie Johnson opened the show. And then Merle Haggard and his band came out there, and they absolutely just, it was a breathtaking performance from beginning to end. They had everybody in there, all ages, on their feet for the entire show. Merle Haggard picked that guitar. He had 2 big old Fender amps behind him, and you could tell whenever it came time for Merle to play, Merle played. That top dog telly he had wasn't just a gimmick, wasn't just for looks. Merle Haggard was a hell of a guitar picker. So there was a lot of layers to Merle Haggard, from the musician to the songwriter to the man. The man is who we love, though. So Merle will be terribly missed, and I'll never stop listening to his albums. It's funny, back a couple years ago I started collecting vinyl again, and I can't pass up a Waylon or a Merle album. So I have more damn Merle Haggard records than you could shake a stick at here. I've got a pretty extensive collection. I've probably got 100 or 150 albums, and I guarantee you at least 30% of them Merle Haggard albums, and I don't even have any doubles of Merle Haggard. So I'm still just buying as many of them as I can find, and all the time discovering new songs that I had never heard before that were just on these great albums that he kept recording throughout the years. And so yeah, Merle Haggard is never going to be forgotten, and the legacy that he left behind is extensive. So if you ever think that you want to get into Merle Haggard's music and you hear a few songs and you think that's it, just keep listening, keep digging, because you'll keep finding. I mean, hell, you can go on YouTube right now and just listen to Merle Haggard all damn month and probably never repeat a song if you wanted to. So there's a whole lot of stuff out there for y'all to find. But again, Ben Haggard is on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. He's a real good kid. I really get the feeling like he was Merle's pride and joy. And my thoughts and prayers go out to the Haggard family. And thank you, Merle, for everything that you did for us. Y'all, that's all I got this week. It's kind of a short show. I'm a day late, $1 short. But just paying tribute to the great Merle Haggard on this here podcast. I appreciate y'all listening. This is old JP signing off from down here. Drink your cold beer, stay near. Go over to joshporter08. Listen to some Merle Haggard covers. I got some for you over there, I guarantee you. The Way I Am, that's the song that I would suggest you checking out of Merle Haggard's if you're not familiar with it. So I got it on joshporter08. Hit me up at joshporter2010 on the Twitter for the Hillbilly Luchador. This is old JP. We'll catch you next time down here. Wish I were down on some blue bayou with a bamboo cane stuck in the sand, but the road I'm on don't seem to go there. I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. Wish I enjoyed what makes my living, did what I do with my willing hand. Some would run, that ain't like me. So I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. The way I am don't fit my shackles. The way I am in reality, I can almost see that bomber dancing. So I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. I'll just dream, keep on being the way I am. The warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom, and I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest. And I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my guitar play and friend do my request. Let him sing me back home with a song I used to hear, and make my old memories come alive. And take me away and turn back the years and sing me back home before I die. I recall last Sunday morning, a choir from off the street came in to sing a few old gospel songs, and I heard him tell the singers, there's a song my mama sang. Could I hear it once before you moved along? Won't you sing me back home with a song I used to hear, and make my old memories come alive? And take me away can turn back the years and sing me back home before I die. Won't you sing me back home before I die? My hat don't hang on the same nail too long. My ears can't stand to hear the same old song. And I don't leave the highway long enough to bog down in the mud. I've got rambling fever in my blood. I caught this rambling fever long ago, when I'd first heard a lonesome whistle blow. If someone said I ever gave a damn, the damn sure told you wrong. I've had rambling fever all along. Rambling fever, the kind that can't be measured by degrees. Rambling fever, there ain't no kind of cure for my disease. Now there's times I'd like to bed down on the sofa and let some pretty lady rub my back, and spend the early morning drinking coffee and talking about when I'll be coming back. 'Cause I don't let no woman tie me down, and I'll never get too old to get around. I wanna die out on the highway and rot away like some old highline pole. Rest this rambling fever in my soul. Rambling fever, the kind that can't be measured by degrees. Rambling fever, there ain't no kind of cure for my disease. Oh yeah. Rambling fever, the kind that can't be measured by degrees. Rambling fever, there ain't no kind of cure for my disease. Rambling fever, the kind that can't be measured by degrees. Rambling fever, there ain't no kind of cure for my disease. Hey!